Hello, hon. Cheers. All right. This coffee is good. Oh my goodness, so delicious. Deliciousness in your soul. Okay, and let me go back over here. Let me get this thing up right quick, people, because we love you. Trying to do this right. Greetings, and welcome back to the Growing Samoan podcast. I'm your host, Henry Willie, with my lovely host here,
Hello, this is Tala.
Tala, back in action. Uh, excuse me. So, talofa lava, talofa, malolele, aloha, Yerana, Bula, that's Fijian. Kia ora, New Zealand, and hello to all the Polynesians, Pacific Islanders, Samoan, you name it, whatever. We love you, miss you guys, and we're glad to have you guys back here on the podcast. It is gonna be me and my lovely wife, my co-host Tala, here today on this episode five,
5.
episode five. Paulo and Leah. Leah. Yeah, they had an emergency today, so we're gonna move on and talk to you people today about all things life, all things educational, all things financial that can help you out in your life. So let's go on. Let's go ahead and move on. I'm gonna try and adjust my mic level right here. I think this is good. Good, good. Can you hear me good?
Mm-hmm.
Good. I think, okay, this is better. This is better. I think that's better. Because I like to talk into the mic. So, and I like to set up. Eventually, I'm going to get, like, if you're watching a YouTube video, well, eventually I'm going to get one of those boom arm things. So I don't have to keep moving around like this. My niece was telling me I should get one of those. I was like, yeah, girl, get one of those. I'm frugal fabulous. I'm going to get it when I get it. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, so we just want to say welcome back again to the Grown Samoan podcast, a financial education podcast where we talk about finances mostly, and we also dig into everything that has to do with our lives. Growing up Samoan, growing up as Polynesian, growing up not rich, not wealthy, but just, like a lot of us out there in the world that are just trying to get by day to day.
Yeah.
And we are on a path, we are on a journey, and we want you guys to follow us on our journey, on our journey to financial freedom, financial independence, where we can show our peoples and we can, spread the word, reach that pinnacle, that goal, and, just share to the world, to our community on how to get there. What was I saying? Like reaching to people, reaching to the world. But sharing is the most important thing. And everything that we learn in our lives on our journey and have learned already, we can share. You guys can hopefully learn from it. And we'll go from there, The last podcast was a good podcast, I think. I try to adjust my volumes this time. I was still getting new to all this audiovisual stuff a jigamadingies.
So there's slight technical difficulties.
Well, I think because
Here and
sometimes I listen to it on my iPhone and on the Bluetooth thing, and it's like low, and then I'll listen to it on somebody else's like speakerphone, and it's loud. Or listen, but anyways, we're gonna touch it up. Let's go. It gets better in time, like I've been saying from day one. So, anyways, moving on. We're gonna start off with our hellos, which we said this way to the camera. Hello, talofa lava. And now we're going to do something new because you, the viewers, are who's important. And all you viewers who have left a comment, left a review, a rating on iTunes, not only iTunes, but our YouTube channel, and left a comment, you're a growing Samoan. We love you. We appreciate you. And we're going to start off our podcast by reading those comments and reviews. So if you guys want to rate, subscribe, and leave a review on iTunes or YouTube, do it. The reason why we love it is because it helps the channels and the podcast grow. So more Polynesian Pacific Islanders can be aware of the stuff we're trying to teach to our peoples. Financial education, the stuff that schools won't teach you, schools won't teach your children.
Things that are taboo in our own households.
Yeah, our parents won't teach
traditional
us.
Islander households.
Yeah,
My parents don't talk finances to me.
yeah, they don't. Mine's didn't.
Yeah.
Mine's didn't. I don't.
But that's part of our culture, kind of, you know.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
We all love our parents.
Yeah, my parents are just old school.
My parents were old school too, and we loved them. But financial education. Here's another new word: financial literacy. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just being educated in finances. Those things weren't taught to our elders, meaning our parents, your grandparents, whatever great grandparents. And that's the stuff we have to learn now as a people to make sure we pass that down to the next generation. That's what's up. Gotta pass it down, right, babe? I was telling you about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth is, you don't get wealth by just getting it overnight or within your lifetime. You get wealth by having it passed down from generation to generation. That's why all these other cultures, you know, props to them, but they've had wealth handed down to them from generation to generation. So they have an upper hand on our Polynesian people because we're barely starting. We're barely scratching the surface on this wealth thing. Barely. As you can see, if you're looking at the video, got the grown Samoan sign. Got a couple Hawaii hats out here. Big ups to everybody still out there fighting for their land on the mountain, Manukea. And this is why we were doing this podcast. I just had one of my nephews and nieces over here, and we were talking about finances. You know, just sharing with them some awesome stuff, you know, things that we're going through in our journey and things that we can help them out, and they're learning, and our eyes get wide open when we're talking to them, and their eyes get wide open like, wow, you know. And these are the things that we love to share. So you, the viewers, the podcast listeners, you guys are important. So we're going to read these comments right now. And the first one is going to be from iTunes. And Chala, she's going to read it right here. The iTunes, it's a review. There you go. Go ahead. Miss Tala, do your thing.
Okay, so we have one here from July 3rd, 2018. And it is from Jasma.
Jasma.
J-A-Z-M-A.
Big ups to you, Jasma. We love you. You're growing some more, listener.
And
love you. Yeah.
The review was, loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Educational for our babies and for us adults. Love you guys. So thank you
Loved
for
it.
that. We love the big ups. We love the positives, and you know.
Should get a rating.
Hmm?
Star rating.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. I love you guys for the 5 out of 5. The reason why is because the comments, the positiveness, the 5 out of 5 reviews, it helps the channel grow, the podcast grow.
It helps. It's always a good feeling for positive reviews.
We're trying to spread the word, the grown Samoan word, and this is the way you guys can help. So thank you.
Yeah, it's also a good way for you guys to leave a comment on anything that you guys have questions about, or maybe something that you guys want us to discuss more or get information about.
Please do that.
Please do.
Please do that.
I don't mind looking. We don't mind looking into
I don't know
researching what it is that we need to.
Look,
if we don't have the answer, we'll find it.
If we don't have the answer, I sure as hell don't have the answers, because, you know,
It's a
I'm
learning experience
yeah,
for us. So
I'm a
we,
dummy at everything. I'm a dummy. There's so much things that I think I know that I'm just like, you get to that point where you think you know things, and then you hear something, you're just like, wow. You get humbled, and you're just like, I don't know nothing compared to what the information that you get from the outside world of your brain. So, but we can help on the things that we do know, you know, the things that we do know, and we have learned and experienced in our lifetime, you know. Uh, so that's what I know I can share 100 with y'all. And let's read that again. Educational for our babies and for us adults.
Mhm.
That's what I was just talking about. Educational for our babies, because all we're preaching is sharing that knowledge, that information, so we can pass it down to the next generation. That's how you get wealth. It's the only way. It's the only way. You get passed down that wealth, that information. Oh, check this out. You guys are going to love this saying. And this is in our community. I've seen this meme, and I don't want to butcher the meme, but I'm going to try and say it. It said, don't buy your kids the things that you never had, but teach your kids the things that you never knew. That's powerful.
Yeah, it's true.
That's powerful right there. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about educational for our babies.
I'm guilty of that sin. I buy my kids stuff that I didn't have,
Everybody is.
but my kids now are a little bit older, so
Well,
I will catch myself teaching them things or talking to them about what where we're at in our journey or what we're doing and so forth. So it's quite interesting that later on down the line
mm-hmm.
we'll be talking again and they already knew exactly
Yeah.
because I've already mentioned it. So
And when I'm talking about kids, I'm talking about because we're parents. Obviously, Jasmine is a parent. We love you, Jasmine. And for those of you guys who aren't parents, this is something you can just jot down in your journal to remember. Just because in the future, human nature is like this. You grow up, you find a partner, you have children. That's how life works as humans, and that's how you pass down your wealth down to your generation. So you can learn something from this. Don't think that this episode ain't for you. It's for you too. You
it's
guys
for
can learn.
everybody,
Yeah,
right?
it's for everybody. You guys can learn. You guys might have nieces and nephews. If you plan on not having kids, you guys might have nieces and nephews you love to death,
We have a
or
lot.
yeah, or just any child that you share with that you can teach the knowledge. So yeah, it's for anybody and everybody. I love that. Thank you, Jasmine, for the rating. Now we're gonna say another review from our YouTube channel. Can you read that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So we have one from. This comment was actually left on our first episode, the Take Action one, and it's from Nas the Great.
Mm-hmm.
And the comment is, heard it on Spotify and immediately followed and then subbed the channel. Great work, everyone. I'll be listening for more. And
Yeah.
hashtag support poly movement.
Hashtag support poly movement.
Very,
Yeah,
very powerful.
that's pretty
right
cool.
there.
This guy, he
Yeah.
hashtag support poly movement.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And that's part of
Support
it.
the poly movement. I love that.
It's a big part of what we want. We want to support that.
Yeah. So on the YouTube channel, shouts out to you, Nas the Great.
Thank you.
He's man, that shocked me. He said he heard it on Spotify, and immediately followed and then subbed to the channel. Great work, everyone. I'll be listening for more. That is inspiration right there. And then hashtag support poly movement. That's what we're about. We're
Yes.
supporting this is the poly movement. It's to help us grow in areas that we can grow, especially finances. That's an area I believe that it'll make you just fly. So big ups to you, Nas the Great. Love yous. Thanks for subbing. Subbing means subscribe. So, everybody, if you go to the YouTube page, there's a little button in the bottom corner. You can probably see it on. Wait, let me go to. You'll probably see it on down here. I'm pointing at it on the channel. It'll be down here, next to the aloha hats. Sub, hit it. Books, hit. Oh wow, you got the pineapple. You got the pineapple in there. I just threw some stuff out there trying to make it look tropical. A little tropical. And yeah, it's good.
And my son thinks that's SpongeBob's house, by the way.
That is SpongeBob's house, and I eat SpongeBob's house all the time. Like, Dad, why are you cutting up SpongeBob's house? Because I like it. It tastes good. Gonna eat it some more. Big ups to Nas the Great.
Thank you.
Once again, you guys, the listeners, the viewers, this is all about you guys. We're doing this for you guys. Spread the word. Rate, subscribe. Leave a review, comment and review, and we'll read it every episode. That'll be like the first thing we're going to do for you. Let's keep growing, y'all. Let's keep growing. Okay, so the topic of the day that we're going to discuss is basically going off of our last episode, because that's a lot to dig in.
We try to fit in as much as we could, but there's just so many variables.
So much about what is credit. And what is credit is, we try to do the best we could. If you didn't listen to the episode, go back to the episode 4, listen to it, and then come listen to this. What is credit? And we're going to just follow up with that one with how to maintain good credit, how to get good credit, and how to keep good credit. Pretty much that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, so the first step would be how are we going to see where we stand?
Or we'll call it this, we'll say this, the pillars of good credit. I love that. The pillars of good credit, because the pillars are the things that hold you up,
They're the positives.
Positives that can hold you up. They're like the legs on a chair, If you have a plastic chair and you're a big Samoan person and you want to sit on that chair at a picnic, and you're like, it has to be a strong pillar to hold you up. Or else it's going to snap. I've seen it happen so many times. So these pillars are for your credit. These pillars are gonna hold you up real strong, and your credit will never fall. It'll hold your credit up, and it'll be so strong no matter how heavy your credit is. If you do these pillars right, you will have good credit. Yeah. So we're just gonna talk about that. The first, because we're just winging it right now. We'll develop it and evolve it and mold it. And if you guys think you can help us mold it, let's mold it together. Let's grow together. So let's think about some pillars of good credit. What's the first thing that comes into your mind, hon, about being a pillar of good credit? Because we talked about what is credit already. So what is a pillar of having good credit?
Well, paying your bills on time.
That's what I was going to say.
I was like, a good pillar of credit is pay your payments.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Number 1 is paying on time.
Paying on time.
It has to be. That's the number 1.
Yes.
If you don't, we have experience in this.
Yes.
If you don't pay, if you miss a monthly payment on a credit card.
On a credit card.
If you miss.
Not only get a late fee, but that late payment will stay on your credit.
Credit report. It'll stay on your credit report. For a long time.
Yeah. So I think 6-7 years.
About 7 years or so. Yeah. There is some good ups about it. Like, if you have a late payment, like your first late payment, you can call the company and tell them you want like what's called, I forgot what the name of it's called, but it's like a free pass. You get a free pass.
Hmm.
They'll give you a free pass. You know, but after that, I don't know. I think it's if you get another late payment, your score drops, and that stays on your report, your credit report, as, hey man, this guy ain't paying
Yeah.
for like it stays on there for up to 7 years, right?
Yeah, and most
And that's
companies.
messed up. Cause it's like you miss one payment, life happens, but it's like we don't care, man.
Yeah.
We put it on your credit report, and that's what we're gonna show the lenders.
There are ways that you can work around it.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, I mean, instead of 7 years, you can, if you keep a good, steady record of maybe for at least, I mean, sometimes as short as a year, you can call your lender, especially if you've been paying on time and paying them in full, paying your statement
Yeah,
balances. You can talk to a lender and you can ask them, like, look, I've been paying, I've been doing really good. Is there any chance? It's kind of like a goodwill statement sort of
yeah.
thing. So you can still work around that. It doesn't always work, but it doesn't hurt. The worst they're
What?
going to say is no.
So why is it important to pay on time?
Because,
Mm-hmm.
well, I think it's important not only just to build your credit, but it's also, I mean, it's very important.
Very important.
Very.
Very.
I don't know how to
This is
stress
the
it. Like
number
it's
one top of the
very
list.
important.
It's
You don't
very
even
important.
you don't have to pay it in full. It's just that you have to at least pay the bare minimum.
Yeah, you don't have to pay it in full.
If your minimum payment is $25 or
Yeah,
$35, believe me, if you can't afford to pay your statement balance, whatever the full amount is,
yeah.
um,
Oh, sorry.
it's actually becomes.
Did it go off on you?
Yeah, hold on.
There?
Okay.
Yeah.
There. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be your full balance. You
Uh-uh.
can pay that later, but it
Yeah.
is very important you at least pay the minimum. Pay the
Yeah.
minimum on time.
So, if for the newbies, because this is, I like to look at this podcast as for beginners. So, for the beginners, the newbies, just like me, I was one of them.
Yeah.
This is for you.
We've been there.
Paying on time is number one because if you get caught up, just like Tyler was saying, and you can't pay the full amount, the monthly payment of like a credit card
Hmm.
or, well, yeah, a credit card. Really, we're talking about credit cards.
Yeah, credit
First of
card,
all,
loans, anything that.
you have to pay a minimum payment. That way, it won't go on your credit report as being late
Yes.
because you're paying
Avoid
something.
the late payments.
For credit cards, it's easy. You pay the minimum payment, which we don't like to do because you're losing money if you're doing that. And we'll tell you how not to get caught up with that in a little bit. But
Yeah.
this is we're just talking about paying on time and why it's so important. Also, if you have a car loan, car payment, that means car payment. If you don't pay that on time, guess what? That also goes on your credit report
Yeah.
as a late payment, and everybody sees that. They see your bad report card. Oh my gosh, this guy's a bad. He turned his homework in late. I don't like that. For like 7 years, they'll see that on there.
Yeah.
If you miss a mortgage payment too, right?
Mhm. Anything
Mortgage,
that has
is
a
it
line
mortgage payment? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
It's a loan.
Yeah, mortgage payment too. Yeah, that's right. It's late. And rent, I don't think rent.
No, it's
No.
anything that has a line of credit.
Yeah, line of credit is considered an installment of like a loan, and there's two kinds of loans: an installment loan. Now write this down if you want to, and a revolving uh, account, or I would say an installment account and a revolving account. Is that about right? Yeah, that's about right?
Yes.
Because an installment is kind of like,
You have more time to pay it off.
yeah,
Installment loans, actually, they're a lot more longer to pay off. I mean, installment loans usually are more like for car loans and for
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's right.
for loans.
What is the wire going off on you?
Yeah.
Sorry. So, so installment is what we're going to talk about on the next pillar, and revolving. We're going to talk about the next pillar. Uh,
But number one,
yeah,
pay your bills
bills on time. Pay
on
your
time.
car payment on time. Pay your mortgage on time.
Pay your credit
Pay your, especially the
cards.
credit cards. They
Those are
get this.
very important.
Ooh, that's how they get you on that money game.
Yes, yes, and
Mm, mm,
not. I
mm.
mean, not only is like I tell you, they smack you with like a $30 plus
They
late
gonna
fee,
tear
but
that ass up.
that late payment is going to be recorded on your credit report for at least 7 years.
Yeah. Okay. And the next pillar of good credit, it's gonna be payment history.
No,
No?
that's what we just talked about.
That okay. It's gonna be
Credit utilization.
utilization. Credit utilize, and remember this word because we're talking about things that you don't learn, you never heard about, things we don't talk about. But in the financial world, you do know these things, you understand these things, and these things will help you grow in your mind, your body, your soul, and your pockets. So utilization is a word that I got familiar with big time, and I know everything about utilization. Utilization is the number two pillar in keeping good credit. Now, utilization means that your credit score will drop.
Yeah, you'll lose some points.
You'll lose some points if you don't know how to utilize your credit. Your credit score will increase or maintain and stay good if you know how to utilize your credit. Utilization is simply this: the credit score tells you that you can only utilize, that means use, 30% and below of your credit limit. That means if you get a credit loan on a credit card or a credit card for about, let's try to do simple math here, for $100, right? Do they do credit cards for $100?
No,
Let's go 1,000.
minimum is usually 200.
200. Let's go 1,000. That'll make the math more easier. If you get a credit limit for $1,000, that means like you sign up for a credit card. They say, okay, here's a credit limit for $1,000. What the credit score, or my FICO, if you remember the last episode, my FICO, the FICO score will tell you that they want you to only use 30% of that $1,000 per month. So that means 30% out of 1,000 is what? 300.
That's the recommendation.
That's the recommendation. But there are loopholes to that. There are ways around that. So you can use more than that and still keep it below 30%. And we're going to teach you about how to do that. It's simple. But first, we're going to explain to you more about utilization, because that's basically what it is. And write this down too. And if you don't want to write all this down, go to myfico.com and you can see this on the page, okay? On the how it works page, all right? Because that's what I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm going off. We're getting some information here to try and help us give you the pillars of good credit and maintaining it. So 30%, you want to keep it low. So if you have $1,000 credit card, you can just use $300 out of that for the month if you want. So just keep it that simple. And at the end of the month, whatever you paid, you used, you pay them. pillar number one, on time. Make sure you pay it on time.
Yep.
So that's pillar number two, is utilization. Now here's a trick. Here's the tip of the day, people, to help you guys use more credit, because it's always good to get credit, because you can get cash back for using all credit instead of using your regular cash. And the tip is to pay your credit card, and we're talking about mainly credit cards here. This is a way around it, because I don't know about car loans, you can't really do it, or mortgages, but with the credit cards, this is how you can get around the utilization. You can pay the credit cards before the closing date. Right, huh?
Yes.
Now, if you have a credit card statement, whether it's paper, you get in the mail, you see a credit card statement. When you first get your credit card statement, or if you want to go online and you look at your credit card statement, you'll see somewhere on there the due date, and then you'll see the closing date. All right.
Yeah. So a lot of credit cards, they have like 28-day cycle, 30, 31 days cycle. It's all depending on what kind of.
Yeah, it's all different.
But at the end, there's in the billing cycle, it gives you the start and then the closing date. So that's the very important date, is that closing date, not the due date.
Yeah.
It's the closing date.
And I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why the closing date is important is because the closing date, whatever you pay, say you have $1,000 credit card limit, and you used $1,000 of that credit limit.
You maxed it out.
That means you maxed it out. And instead of waiting until the due date, where it says on your thing, on your credit, your bill,
on your statement,
before that, if you pay it before the closing date, then it takes 2 to 3 days. Well, anyways, if you pay it off before the closing date, it won't report to the credit bureaus. You guys remember the credit bureaus? Hashtag EAT. Hashtag EET. Mm-hmm. Now, it won't report it to the credit bureaus. You'll go to the credit card company. You'll pay off the $1,000 to the credit card company before the closing date. The credit card company enters it in and clears it and resets your monthly statement back to zero, and then they shoot that out to the credit bureaus. Hashtag EET.
They don't report it until 2 to 3 days after the closing.
Yeah, so they don't report it until 2 to 3 days after. So if you pay it before the closing date, it clears it. Mm-hmm. So it's back to zero. And then they report it, and then you won't have $1,000 maxed out utilization, which means that if you did max it out to 1,000, you're going way over the 30% rule, which means they want to keep you below it. But this is a trick to report that, oh yeah, we're not even reached past 30%. We're still at zero, but you get to use your whole $1,000 credit limit, and you get to get all those cashback rewards.
Mm-hmm. It's another good way to, if you're paying in full.
Yeah.
Before the closing date is that's actually a good sign to the credit card lenders, and that actually gives them more chances of giving you, or it gives you more chances of getting credit increases.
That means that
your credit limit can
the more you're spending the credit limit, instead of spending only $300, you spend $1,000. The credit card company will see that and be like, oh, wow, okay, maybe it will up his.
He uses, or he's utilizing
their limit, and then you get like a 2,000 limit.
Yeah.
But to the downside of that a lot of people say is, when you do that and report zero, other lenders will look at it like you didn't even use it because they can't see it. So if you want to leave it, used, or then like let's just say you want to pay off only what's like $700. See if my math is correct. If you want to pay off $700 before the closing date, that still leaves 30% for the regular due date, which is still at 30% mark, which is good because it shows other lenders like, oh, okay, he uses his credit card, and it still keeps you below the utilization. I hope you guys are getting this if you're understanding that. If you don't, then let us know. Have some questions up, hit us up. But I'm trying to explain as simply as I can, me and Tala, and I think we're doing a good job. Yeah, because a lot of people, like when we were doing our research, the same thing. What? What happened?
Nothing.
Oh, the same thing happened. Was we're getting confused and we're like, what is this utilization? I don't understand it. And then I watched the YouTuber and he explained it to us. He's like, it's pretty much you want to keep below 30% of your credit limit, but if you pay before, go ahead.
Well, and 30%, it does not mean just one credit card. It is actually 30% is if you have multiple credit cards, the 30% is basically the total of. So let's say
Credit
you
limit,
have
yeah.
3 cards that have $500 limit each. That's $1,500. So you want to utilize or keep your utilization underneath 30% of the full 1,500. So be careful when 30, not just 30% on each individual card. You want to make sure that it's all your lines of credit across the board.
That's number 2 pillar, utilization.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people need to understand what utilization is. Because if they don't and they max out their credit card and then they pay it at the end of the month, they'll wonder why their score keeps dropping, going up and down. And it's like, because you used over 30% of your utilization of your credit limit, and that's why your score will drop.
Yeah. Majority of the time your due dates are after your closing date.
Yeah. All of them,
So basically whatever you've used or utilized, let's use layman terms, used.
Use me,
and then
baby.
they close.
Sorry, I just want to sing right now.
And then they closed it out.
Close it out.
Honey.
I'm a backup. Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. Sorry. You were talking about closing it out.
Well, yeah. If your due date is like 5 days after your closing date, well, unfortunately, even let's say you wanted to pay off your full balance on your due date, well, 5 days before they closed it, and whatever your balance was $1,000 on that $1,000, then that's what's being reported. So basically, you're gonna show 100% utilization, and your score is going to drop.
And you're trying to do the right thing.
And you're like, but my due date is.
But you're like, no. But people are like, well, I paid it on time.
Yeah,
I use it, but they don't know the pillar number 2.
Yes.
30%.
Yes. That is the trickiest part.
Yeah,
and
utilization.
And we had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
That's when we did our research, did the YouTubes, looked at, and you have these people who are credit card gurus, and that is their life. They have multiple credit cards.
I'm your credit card guru right now. And I'm telling you, pillar number 2 is utilization.
Yes.
Pay before the closing date.
Yes.
Not the due dates.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We pay before the closing date.
Yep.
And we'll leave a little bit.
$10, whatever, as long as it's underneath the 10%.
Yeah, we try to keep it 10% below.
Stay
but if it's still 30% below, you're still good.
Yeah, if you carry over a $5 balance, you're fine.
But if you go above 30%, your score will drop for no reason. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's so stupido.
And by the way,
Stupido.
pillar 1 about paying your bills on time, that is 35% of your score.
Credit score. Yeah, 35%.
Pillar number 2, which is your credit utilization,
is
that is 30%
30%.
of your score.
So that's 65%
These
of
two
your score.
make up the majority of your score.
More than half.
So they're very important.
Just two.
Yeah.
They make up more than half of your credit score.
Yeah.
So those are the two.
Yeah.
Two
The
big
other
pillars.
three pillars are their minor ones, but they, I mean, they're also part of it, but
But you know
they're
what?
not as important as 1 and 2.
Yeah. But for number 3 pillar, this is my third pillar of having good credit. Okay.
Mhm.
Use your credit for what you already buy, what you already pay for, what you're already gonna spend. That means
Your gas.
your gas,
Your groceries.
your groceries, your food,
Sometimes, like what
your
we do,
bills.
we pay our bills, like our electric,
your electric,
our
Yeah.
cable.
yeah,
We
cable
don't have
bill,
cable, internet, but
cell phone bills,
cell phones.
um, everything.
Every monthly expense that is a given. That's
people that don't,
besides your rent.
people
Don't
that
pay your rent.
are brainwashed in the taboo of I can't use credit. People that are into Dave Ramsey and some other people that say credit cards are the enemy, they're evil.
They, they're
I
not.
know Dave Ramsey's cool.
Yeah.
For all
Oh
the
yeah.
Dave Ramsey fans, if you want to get out of debt, go to him. Go to Dave Ramsey. He's the man that'll get you out of debt. But after you get out of debt and you want to
You have to
reach
rebuild.
financial independence, you got to come into this world. You have to. You have to come into this world, and in this world, well, we deal with credit cards. We use the system. We are winning, like we talked about in episode 4. We're not losing. We learn how to play this money game and flip the tables and use this against them. So, number 3 pillar is use only what you're going to spend already.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they don't know how to use the credit cards, and we're going to explain to you how to do it right now. Pillar number 3. When you get a credit card, you don't just go buy a big screen TV. You don't just go out there and buy more iPads, MacBook Pros.
Unless you have the money and you've been saving to do
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't just go and you go out to dinner and just blow out all this
Don't
your credit.
splurge.
No. If you're doing that, like we talked about in episode 4, you're losing. The credit card game is beating you. You're losing money, and you're just gonna be digging yourself a hole in debt. This is how you use your credit cards. Listen, write this down. Pay attention to my Samoan, Polynesian, Pacific Islanders, all of you people, no matter what walks of life you come from. Use the same cash that you're going to spend for your gas, your groceries, stuff you're already going to pay for, your bills. Use your credit card for that instead, and save that cash you're going to use and pay it off at the end of the month before the closing date.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. That's the secret.
Yep.
That's the secret. That's all it is.
That's the simplified
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
way of doing it.
Don't ever say, well, my credit card is for emergencies. Hell no. That's when you get an emergency fund. Credit cards, if you use it for emergency, and some people do. Some people have used it because it helped them out through their struggles in life when they needed it. But those people were pretty much the ones who didn't know about financial education and took that risk. That said that, well, I got $10,000 on my credit card. I'll be out of work for a month. I'm gonna just use it. But
Then you're losing the benefits and the perks
Yeah.
of what you could be getting, especially if you have certain credit cards give you travel. There's so many perks.
well, if not only that, if you're using that $10,000 credit card,
Only
who
for
knows?
emergencies.
Who knows if you're gonna
Then-
be able to pay that back?
Yeah.
Because if you don't pay that back on time, boom, you failed pillar number 1. Boom, you already failed pillar number 2 because you're using way more than the
Yeah.
utilization. And so, credit cards are only meant to help you out win in this game. It's helping us out.
Yeah. It's not.
I got a credit card, and all I use it for is everything I'm going to pay for anyways.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
We'll go to the store, the gas station, groceries, some grocery stores that allow it. Anything, the bills. If we're at 7-Eleven, we just want to get some snacks.
Yeah.
Boom, use it. If you want to go to the movies, boom, use it. I can just name everything I use on my credit card.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
teaching yourself in your mind to use the credit instead of the cash or your debit or your bank card, whatever it is.
But when I use my credit, I have the cash
Mm-hmm.
in my account, and I take a note on my phone. I got a phone here, and I downloaded an app. It's, I don't know, I pay like $2 a month, but there's a lot of free ones. They're called like Checkbook.
Yeah, the
This
checkbook
one's called
ledger is a good
Checkbook.
one.
It has like transactions and stuff like that. And what I do is I set up an account for credit
Specifically
cards,
for whatever credit card it
credit
is.
cards, and then my regular checking account
Mhm.
at my bank. So when I use my credit card, I swipe $20 for gas. I go in, I put in the credit card the thingy, $20 gas, and then I go to my checking account thingy, and I have a credit card thing in my checking account thing that's balance, and I put the balance in there, so like 20. That's it. Because when I put more stuff into my credit card account, like let's just say I use another 20 for gas, another 20 for gas.
So it's like
That's
transferring.
60.
He's basically transferring from his checking into his credit card account. So that way he's making sure that that money's already
I'm
going.
taking notes of how much I'm using, so I know that the money's there. So basically, if you have $1, instead of paying $1 for a candy bar, I use a credit card, and I swipe the credit card. I take the dollar and I put it in my credit card jar, and I keep doing that through the whole month. Then when it's time to pay the credit card, I take the jar and I pay off the credit card with all the cash.
Mhm.
That's how you're winning, people. That's how you win. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. You're like, well, why? Why do you do that? Why can't you just use cash? What are the benefits of using a credit card? When I use my credit card, let's go back to episode 4. Those are the pros. It's increasing my credit score. It's making it look good on my credit report. And not only that, I'm getting cashback rewards.
Mhm.
That means that, let's say for one, I have a credit card that has 2% back on on gas. So every time I swipe at the gas station, the credit card is giving us 2% back on that gas.
Mhm.
So you're winning. You're getting free 2% cash back on the money you're spending on gas. So why would I pay $20 in cash at a gas station when I can use my credit card and get a discount? Hello. Hello. Everybody's like, damn, gas is so high. I'm just like, oh, I got a card. Some people have credit cards that give you 3% cash
Or
back,
more. I've
5% cash
yeah.
back.
There's
Yeah,
there's a lot of cards out there
yeah,
that are really have really good cashback rewards.
yeah. Cashback rewards. What they do with the cashback rewards, these credit card companies, is at the end of the month, they give you back the cash back that you earned, that you totaled up at the end of the month. It's just back to you. You could do whatever you want. You could put it in your account, transfer it to your bank account, or you could pay off your credit card bill.
Yeah.
Or they even have bonuses where you can use that to buy gift cards.
Yeah, we've bought e-certificates.
And they add on money to that. Like, say,
Yeah.
if you buy this
$40 something, they'll
we'll
give you
add
$10.
on $10 more.
So you
So
get
you're
50.
winning more. You're like getting free money. We love free. We love free. Not only free, you're getting more money. They're just giving it to you.
Yeah, and this
You're
is
winning.
this is just cash back.
It's just cash back.
You have cards that give you points
Oh,
to
yeah.
travel.
Travel rewards.
Travel
Oh,
rewards.
my
I mean,
gosh.
there's so many.
We
cards
can't
out
wait.
there.
We're going to get there.
When we get to that-
we're going to spread that to you
Yeah.
guys, because the people we follow, we listen to, they're doing so many big things with travel
They
rewards.
travel. I mean, we're talking about like, let's say for instance, one has like his round trip airfare for him and his family would have been like $2,500 to
Yeah.
go to like the Bahamas,
Mm-hmm.
and then instead using credit cards with the
Using
perks of getting bonus points, he's paying like maybe 20% of that for a whole trip for his family.
yeah,
20%, maybe even less. Sometimes free.
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 Free is the goal, and a lot of them do it for
A
free.
lot do it for free. It's called travel
Free.
hacking. It's just
That's the term for it. Some people use travel rewards.
travel
Is what they call
rewards
it.
is what.
But hacking, we like to hack. If you be a hacker, and it's all
I am
legal.
not a computer hacker.
This is
but-
all legal. This is all legal since
Yeah.
nizzles. I'm talking about for shizzles.
Yeah.
Now, travel rewards. I've heard so many great stories about travel
there's
rewards.
a lot, and we hope to get there. That's kind of where we're working.
Yeah, let me
towards
put it
right
to
now.
you guys like this. And in the later future podcasts, I'm gonna share this all the other podcasts and websites you can go to those guys, the professionals who do it. Don't listen to me. I don't know nothing. I'm gonna shoot you to those pros. They're gonna show you and teach you everything.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot the one. He's like a Chase credit card guru.
Yeah.
He's got like all the Chase cards, but it's like
Once you know the benefit
amazing.
of winning in this credit game, your life is gonna change, people. I'll tell you right
Your
now.
perspective about
You're gonna be winning. When you're winning financially, everything's happier. You're happier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but right now we're only at the cashback rewards
Yeah.
stage.
Well,
but
I'm gonna
that's
tell.
the plus of it.
Yeah, we're blessed with just the regular cashback rewards we're getting right now. I mean, we on our we went to Hawaii.
Us in Hawaii.
We went to Hawaii, and we actually used our gift cards that
Yeah.
we got
Easterts for like
from
for
from
dinner,
our-
for lunch,
from
for-
our cashback rewards from our credit cards.
Mhm.
Free money that we got from our credit cards. We're like, oh, we can use that to go dine out, and we used it to go dine out
yeah.
in Hawaii. We're eating for free from our credit cards in Hawaii.
from rewards that we racked up just from spending on everyday
Just by paying everyday
expenses.
stuff, gas, food,
Gas, food,
the stuff you go.
bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is
So-
the stuff we're teaching you people
Yeah, so
because we love you.
that pillar number 3.
Yeah.
Use it only for what.
How
Well,
to use your credit card.
Yeah, or use it for things that you use in your daily life.
Pretty much how to use your credit card.
Yeah.
That's how you use
The
it.
right way.
That's how you use it. You don't use it for flashy, shiny things and that you just want. You use it for the stuff. Oh, I like this. Check this out. I'm gonna give you guys another saying. It's not what you want. It's what you need. That's what we use it for. You use your credit cards for what you need, not what you want. Oh, I want this. I want that. Oh, I don't care about that. If you use your credit card, do you have money for that? Because if you don't have money for that, you're losing. You're digging yourself a hole. If you can't cover it, then you're going to fall as a late payment, or you're going to fall as not paying on time.
Yeah.
The blah, blah, blah.
Hey, it kind of connects to your other saying. It's not how much you earn, it's how you spend it.
Yeah.
How much you spend.
Yeah.
That's the key.
So this pillar is very important. Write that down. It's pillar number 3, how to use your credit cards.
Yep.
Win, don't lose. Win, don't lose. Win, don't lose. That's my number 3, pillar number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go on to a pillar number 4. Pillar number 4, I would say to maintain good credit. What would be a pillar for number 4, you think? Because we can say you link the history, because that's 15% of your credit score. Oh, that's a good one. Let's go with that. Pillar number 4, link the history. So what that means is if you have credit cards, don't close it out.
Yeah, you want to
Don't close it out.
maintain. You want to
Yeah.
keep a good length of history on
Yeah.
your accounts, because that's another incentive for lenders or credit,
Yeah.
credit lenders, because they look and they say, oh, well, she or he has had this account open for like 3+ years
Yeah.
and has maintained good payment history and so on forth. The longer you've had an account open, the better it looks to creditors and
Excuse
to
me.
lenders. And it's
Yeah.
also 15% of your score, of
15%.
that FICO score.
So you total up the 65% of the first two pillars
Plus that 15.
plus the 15% of the
That's
fourth.
80%
That's
right there.
80% of your credit score.
Yeah.
Those are good pillars. 1, 2, and 4. Number 3 is awesome too.
Yeah.
3 is a must.
Yeah.
I should have put that number 1.
Yeah.
Maybe we could switch it to number 1.
Yeah. Well,
How to use your credit card, and then 2, 3, and 4.
5 pillars are going to be different.
We could switch it if we want to.
They're going to be different in everybody's
Yeah.
perspective.
True.
In our perspective, for us, payment history was first because it's a very big impact.
Big. Yeah, we'll just keep it the same.
Yeah.
We'll keep it the same. We'll keep it the same. Because I feel that paying on time is very important.
Yes.
And I feel that utilization is what people need to learn. And if I want to switch it up, I'll switch it up.
Yeah.
But for
and
now,
you guys can switch
it up however way
you want it. Because it affects everybody differently. No person is the same.
The length of history. If a lot of people, you heard that term of cut up your credit cards, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. If you want to win in this credit card game, you got to have a lot of credit cards. You can pay them off. Go to Dave Ramsey. He'll teach you how to do that. Snowball effect.
And you know what?
If you know, if you're a Dave Ramsey fan,
yeah, they do.
do the snowball effect.
They do.
You
But
know,
and that's just to get out of debt.
Yeah.
Not if you've already left and gone to the already maxed out and and getting in debt to pay it off, then the Dave Ramsey method is perfect for you.
But don't cut up your credit cards after that, because I think he says then close them out. Whatever you do, don't ever close, because that'll just cut off your 15%.
Yeah,
of your credit score.
You'll lose your history. You're good.
Well, that's what it does. If you cut it off, you lose your history.
Yeah.
That's 15%. So if you had like a 3-year-old credit card, and that's the only credit card you had, that's 15%. And if you just pay it off and say close my credit card account, you lose all that length of history, and you lose 15% of your total credit score. Just like that.
The only thing that I would say that would probably come in use for
What?
is if that 3 years of history you have had bad payment history, then it is a good thing to close it out, because then you want to rebuild starting at 0 instead of already having a negative effect.
Well, some people say that the older the late payment is, the less the lenders worry about it.
Yeah. So, but if it's less than 3 years, then I think you can close it out. 3 years or more is what they usually look at for a good length of history.
Yeah, length of history. I think that credit history, that even includes like car payments.
Yeah.
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 Because a car payment can stay on your
regular car payments is like what, 5 year?
Yeah.
Like a standard
yeah.
car payment was it 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. I forgot to mention that pillar number 2, utilization. So revolving, and these are words I just want to get you guys familiar with. Revolving means that you're utilizing
Those are like credit cards.
Yeah, like credit cards.
Credit cards are revolving credit.
Yeah.
That's
that means that every month it repeats. Reset, repeat, reset, it revolves.
Yes.
Installment means it's not utilizing. It's not revolving. It's not. So that's just a big loan that you're paying off until the end. That means a car payment, a mortgage payment, a house payment, a necklace payment at K Jewelers. Those are installment loans where you have a set date.
Unless you have a credit card with K Jewelers.
No, that's an installment loan.
But
no, that's an installment. Well, you're now if you have a credit card, that's revolving.
That's revolving.
But I'm talking about installment, like we're talking about Paulo's chain at K Jewelers. That was an installment.
Yeah.
That's an installment.
That's like a, what do you call that? I wouldn't say a line.
But revolving installment, those words to throw in there, jot down, rewind it,
Yeah,
listen to it again, do what you want to do.
the only installment loans that honestly we've ever had to deal with is just basically a mortgage and a car payment.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the
Yeah,
only.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Revolving we deal a lot with more now because we're in the credit card
Yeah.
game.
So 4, yeah, that's good. And let's just go with the rest of them on here on maintaining good credit, and then number 5 pillar. 5 pillar we could go with um
Credit mix.
credit mix.
That's actually a very important one.
Credit mix. That
now-
means. Go ahead. You explain it.
Well, creditors or lenders, when they're looking at your credit report, they actually like to see that you have a mix of credit. They want to see that you have installment loans, which is car payments and mortgage.
Mhm.
They also want to see that you have lines, credit cards. So having a mix of credit actually makes up 10% of your score, your FICO score. But it's also a good way to tell them that you're pretty versatile and
Yeah.
you're doing real well with
Yeah.
multiple lines of different.
So that's 10% of your score. Credit mix is if you have credit cards, and then you have a car payment, and then you have like another loan. Like say you have a K Jewelers loan, or if you have store credit cards, those are also like revolving. Those are another good mix, or a mortgage payment. That's like mixed. That means you have a whole
Yeah, you
different.
have just different varieties of certain types of credit. And,
So that's 10%.
yeah.
That's pillar number 5.
Yeah, so that's 90 in total for your
90.
FICO. The last one the last 10% that makes up your credit score is new credit.
Yeah.
So
Also, we're going to pillar number 7.
no.
6.
No, we have our 5 pillars, but I'm just saying this is what makes up FICO score. Yeah.
No, number 3 pillar. That's our own pillar. That has
Yeah.
no score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. But since we've already mentioned.
Yeah. Well, 5. Number 1 is 35%. Number 2 is 30. Number 4 is length of history. Right? Yeah, and then number 5, that's 4. That's pillars that are equal to 90%. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Okay. You gonna hit me now or no?
No, I'm just saying it's not a pillar. That's what the FICO score is. 4 of our pillars are made
I'm
of.
gonna call him. Whoop whoop. You know what that song's from, baby? That's the sound of the beast. Whoop whoop. That's the sound of the police. Okay, so we have the 5 pillars. Is that 5 pillars?
Yes.
Okay. Now do the last pillar, number 6. The last pillar is number 6 pillar is, we're just gonna go with that one. Inquiries. Well, we'll keep it as a pillar, but it's the last thing, and it has a lot to do with your credit. It affect your credit score. Good credit or bad credit, because it's 10%, right? It's 10% of your score. Inquiries are basically, well, you explain it. You explain to the listeners about inquiries. Inquiries. The last one.
Inquiries are just when you apply for new credit. Every time you apply for a new credit card or anything, it's going to do what is called a hard pull on your credit.
Yeah.
Anytime that you apply for a new credit card. In rare cases, you can do a soft pull, where those are not as harsh and they don't remain on your credit report for 2 years. But a hard pull, anytime that you do a hard pull on your credit report, it will remain for 2 years. And when you apply for a new loan for anywhere, anytime that you have to give up your social security number.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like filling out an application, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard pull. And just remember, anytime you do that, those hard inquiries will remain on your credit report for 2 years.
Yeah, those are very important.
2 years. So
Those-
the more inquiries you have, usually that's a very bad impact. It's a
Yeah.
negative impact. But they fall off every 2 years. So if you're somebody that's looking to get credit cards or apply for new credit, like Henry and I, we usually wait like every 3 months, right? 3 to 6 months.
I think 3 to 6 months is
We
good.
do the 3 to 6 months.
If you wanna apply for a credit
for a
card
credit card or for
or for a home, well, not a home because home is like one time in a big and long time while, or like a car.
yeah,
Yeah.
we like to keep the inquiries to a minimum, or the less the better. But usually when we're trying to get our method right now is to get is try to apply for cards, try to build our credit enough that we can get cards that have really good benefits, that have good perks. So every 3 to 6 months is when, okay, I think our credit score is climbing. We're at a good, let's apply.
Yeah. Now to my beginners, see, I love how this chemistry is going great because Tala is so intelligent. She's gonna talk to our advanced and our people who are semi-advanced, I'd say, or something like that. And for the new beginners, you got me. You know, I could try to teach you. Inquiries, as simple, is basically 10% of your credit score. And these are little marks that every time
You apply
you
for
get
something.
a credit pool, or like Tyler was saying, where you go and you apply for an apartment, they run a credit check. That's an inquiry.
That's a hard pull inquiry, yeah.
That's an inquiry. You go apply for a credit card. That's an inquiry. You go and apply, go get a mortgage, or whatever. That's an inquiry. You go and apply for 2-3 apartments. That's more inquiries.
Yeah.
But there's a trick for if you want to go shop for a car. If you go apply for a car loan, that's an inquiry. Some inquiries don't count. If you go and you pull your own credit report, that's not an inquiry, you know. And there's other ones that don't count either, that don't show up as on your credit report. If you go and you go apply for a car loan, and there's a time frame that if you were to do in a certain amount of days, like go look for a car, like in 10 days, I think it's somewhere. I don't know if I'm correct or not, but you can dig into that, research yourself. But I think it's around 10 days. You go out and apply for a car, and you pull all these inquiries within that 10 days, it only counts as one. So that's another trick to help you keep your inquiries low. Why? Because it's 10% of your credit score, and that's the main thing. Inquiries. Learn about it, read about it, educate yourself about it. And I think that's good on the pillars of good credit.
Yeah. I mean, a big plus, too.
I think that's very good. Yeah.
A big plus would be
Very good.
when, before you apply to anything, is basically to know what your credit score looks like and what your credit report looks like. That's where you go to your.
This is
It's very important before you start getting out there and I'm gonna go apply for one. Know where you're at.
yeah. So know where you're at. We talked about what is credit on episode 4, and I could have did this for episode 4, but so if you're still hanging in there with us and you're listening to this, this is how you get your free credit report. All right. Now we gave you the 5 pillars or the 6 pillars of good credit. Now we're going to give you tips to help you out, and I'm going to put all these in the show notes to help you guys out so you can learn about it. And these are the free tips on how you can get your free credit report. Free. It ain't going to cost you nothing. It's free. Trust me, because we did it before. We tried it. We did it. It works.
We still do.
Still do. So, annualcreditreport.com, and I'll put the the link on the bottom of the show notes. That is where you can get your free credit report.
Once a year.
Once a year, from all three of the credit bureaus. Hashtag EET.
Eats.
Yeah. So you'll get the free credit report. Now, they only give you your credit report. They don't give you your credit score.
Yes.
They give you a free credit report. Now, and we told you guys what credit report is at episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
So listen to that again. Now, if you want to get your credit report by the credit bureaus individually or together, like some come together in doubles, this is another way. Credit Karma. Credit Karma gives you your credit report. They show all your transactions. They're legit. Go to them. They're free. A lot of you guys probably have it.
Mm-hmm.
Credit Karma is free. I think they have TransUnion and Equifax. They show your TransUnion and Equifax reports for free.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get it for free. We hooking you guys up right here. Free credit reports.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay for nothing. You could go and you can pay for the credit monitoring, but this is free. What's more better than that?
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one you can get is Experian.
Credit Karma also updates their reports like once a month.
Yeah, once a month. Now, they have their own credit score. Don't go by that.
Yeah.
That's not a FICO score. If it doesn't say FICO, like it'll have FICO 8, FICO number. But if it doesn't say FICO, it's not what a lot of the lenders use, or most of the majority. It's not your FICO. It's not your real credit score. It's what's called an Advantage score. So we'll get into that later. But for now, this is tips on how you can get free credit reports.
Yep.
Credit Karma, or first is annualcreditreport.com.
Once a year.
Once a year.
You can get all three.
Yep.
For free.
Get Credit Karma get the app. You get that TransUnion and Equifax reports for free.
The other one is Experian.
And Experian.com.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Experian.com.
Just sign up for free. They have a membership, but they also have a free one where you can set up alerts, and anytime that your credit or anytime that there's a change to your credit report, they send you an email, and you click on it, and it'll send you to their website, and it'll show basically what the alert is. But then also you can once something changes, they also provide you with a free credit report, an updated credit report for free.
Straight up. So that's pretty much what we got for this episode. Yeah. And the credit scores, you can actually get credit scores if you have a bank account or
a lot of banks are now. I mean, they don't use all three credit bureaus because every credit bureau has their own FICO score. But they do use one, and majority of the time those scores are only maybe about 5 to 10 point differential.
No, they use FICO scores.
No, I mean every bank, only like one bank uses, like Chase only uses Experian for their FICO score. I can't remember if it was Wells Fargo that uses TransUnion, and so like every credit bureau, for some reason, their FICO scores are different.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. We talked about that in episode 4.
Yeah.
Every credit bureau, they all have their own different FICO score.
Yes.
It's not the same. It's all different.
Well, that's why I said there's usually a 5 or 10 point differential between the three. So
they're
one
different.
can be 620, one can be 625, but they all kind of are around the.
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah.
They're different.
So banks, Chase, I get a free one for Chase because that's who I bank with.
So if you want a free credit score, go to your bank and say, "Hey man, how can I get my credit score for free?" That's all you gotta do. And they'll say, "Oh well, we can do your scores, blah blah blah." Simple as that. That's the way you can get credit cards. You can also get your credit score. You hop online, you look at your credit card statement or your credit card page. They'll say, "Oh, do you want to know your credit score?"
Mm-hmm.
Click it, and they'll say, "Oh, this is from TransUnion. Oh, this is from Experian, Equifax, whatever." That's the way you can get your credit score.
Yeah.
If not, just go pay for it if you want to know your credit
Yeah.
score.
Unfortunately,
Uh-uh.
majority of them you have to pay.
But if you want to get it for free, your credit score, that's how you can do it. If not, go to myfico.com. You pay like, I don't know, $30, and then you get, or whatever it is, and you get all your credit scores.
For those of you that have tried already to apply for a credit card and may have been denied, they send you that decline or rejection letter, and you have like 90 days to get, what is it, like a to get a free credit score. You can find out. That's another way. Usually those letters that have declined you will provide you with your FICO score.
So,
That's just another, way, if you've already done it.
yeah, if you got gonged
Yeah.
and they're saying, oh, sorry, we can't get you this, but
Right.
if you want to look at the report,
At the bottom, in the middle,
and then just
towards the bottom, it
don't
tells
get
you.
angry or mad, just grow. If you're
Yeah.
growing someone, be like, all right, how can I grow? Let me look at this report.
Yeah.
And boom. And you say, yeah, give me the free report, and then they'll give you the
Don't.
report or score.
They give you both.
They give you both. Boom.
Your
So
your
if
your
you think
your
you're losing,
rejection letter.
you're not losing. You're
I'm not
winning.
telling you to
can
go.
win.
Just don't go apply for a credit card so you can
Yeah.
get rejected. That's not good.
So-
I'm just saying, if you've already done it prior to this, and you did get a rejection letter, your FICO score is on the bottom
Oh, sorry.
of that letter, and then it also that also gives you another advantage of getting a free credit report.
Yep. There was another credit card service or credit monitoring services for free.
Oh, so Credit Sesame is
Credit
another
Sesame,
one.
I think. Yeah. And the credit reports on there are legit. The credit scores, once again, don't listen to those.
Yeah,
Those aren't FICO. Those are FACO. That's what we call it in the credit world. FACO
Yeah.
scores.
Credit Sesame is actually more of
Yeah.
a monitoring service than
Yeah.
anything. But those are places that you can go to and get free credit reports and all that stuff. So
And with that, I think we're just going to move on and close out. This episode is for those that love episode 4.
it's
What
just
is
an
credit?
extension.
And that are really trying to figure out and help to fix their credit or rebuild or start credit.
Yeah.
These 2 episodes back to back, man, listen to them over and over again. Share it with your friends, your family. If not, just keep growing, because when you grow,
We're growing.
people around you, they won't really feel what you're talking about. They won't understand unless they want to grow too. Then when they see you grow and they're like, man, then they get interested and they want to talk to you. Then it's time for you to spread it and share. But don't try and push it on people who don't want it.
Don't
Don't
ever
do that.
force.
Just for those who are interested, you know. With that being said, yeah, like I said, episode 4, episode 5, real good ones about credit. And that's what we're all about, helping you guys out grow, helping us grow. Keep following us on our journey. Our journey to financial freedom is looking good, y'all. We're going to talk about that. We got time. We got plenty of time. We're starting it off as smooth as we can with the stuff that we're trying to teach everybody before we start telling you guys about our journey more into it. But for now, credit, episode 4, episode 5. The tip of the day, we'll leave everything at the bottom of the show notes. Okay? Love you guys. The tip of the day for health, like I said, eat more fruits and vegetables. Just do that. A simple tip. I don't like to push things on people. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Add that into your me'ai, your dinners, your breakfast. Fruits and vegetables. I got the pineapple here, y'all. I cut that bad boy up. Go on YouTube. They show you how to cut it up, chop it up. My kids, we just pop. We eat it. You know what I'm saying? I put it in smoothies with apples and coconut water. You know, smoothie. You throw it in the blender with some frozen banana. Zzz, I drink that. Oh, it's so good. Vegetables. Add more vegetables. Eat more. You don't like vegetables?
Mm.
You don't like vegetables?
I love carrots as long as
Yeah.
they're raw.
She's so skinty and she don't eat like vegetables. She a meat eater.
I am a carnivore.
Yeah, she love meat. But add more vegetables to your meat if you want. Just slowly sprinkle those in, fruits and vegetables, because you're surrounded by fast food. I know it. We know it. We're there. We live here. We know it. That's all around us. Sprinkle some fruits and vegetables to your diet because we love you. We care about y'all. That's the tip, the health tip of the day. So please, once again, if you really love the show, go to iTunes,
Yeah.
rate, review, subscribe, and thank you for our sponsors. Yeah, thank you for the sponsors, whoever they may be right now. I think we got Spotify. Spotify is one of the sponsors.
Mhm.
Spotify your soul and listen to the Grown Samoan podcast. Yeah, and Anchor.fm. Yeah. For now, we love you guys. Joy Faso 4. Big shouts out to everybody in Hawaii and 808, all my poly people out there around the world. The Rock, I love yous. The Rock, leave The Rock alone, man. He's been my favorite actor since
Since
before he
wrestling.
became an actor.
Since-
That's what I said. It was back in 2000. Who's your favorite actor? The Rock? So I love that dude. That's our people. That's our guy. This is when he was with the Nation of Domination, and that was like 98 or whatever. I still remember 90, 97. No, that was like 96. I
yeah.
saw The Rock and Ken Shamrock. I went with my fam. We went down at the Tacoma Dome way back in the day, and The Rock was with the Nation of Domination, and they were like, Rocky sucks. Rocky sucks. And then those songs, one of those songs was Rocky. I ain't gonna say it. And then he said, Rocky. He looked. He was like, gave him the eyeball. But anyways, love you guys. Thanks for listening again.
Yeah.
S- Stay tuned. We got more coming for you in the next episode. And yeah, big up. Peace out. We love you guys. And that's about it. Yeah, we love you guys. It's a good
Bye,
episode.
guys.
Yeah. We won't
Thank you
find
for
anything,
listening.
And gone to granite, go to school, gone to granite school. Every Sunday morning, Saturday morning, come to granite school. Something wrong with you, Bobby Hebe. Something wrong with you. I can beatbox.
Say bye, honey.
Bye. Love you guys. Peace out. So far, so far. Growing someone, and we.